Stampers, this is Dawn from DawnStampingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make a penny slider card. Works like that. These are swaps that I made for my fellow advisory board members and also my downline that are attending convention this year. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm using the Hello Honey cardstock, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm using a piece of designer paper, and this is the Lullaby. This is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. It's going to layer right on top of the front of the card. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 3 1/4 by 4. Okay, so first we're going to grab the Scallop Tag Topper punch, and we're going to slide this into the punch. And I'm going to actually flip it over because it's easier to slide it in here. So I'm just sliding it, instead of sliding it into the 2-inch gap there, I'm sliding it right inside underneath here. I hope that shows up. And then I'm going to slide it over to the very edge. Hopefully that shows up right here. As far as it'll go over, and then I'm just going to punch. Okay, and then you get your little tag there. Let me grab the paper trimmer. Okay, so now we're just going to trim this off. This little leftover here. Okay, so then there's your tag. Okay, so now we're going to take the Hello Honey cardstock. Now, if you want to go ahead and layer these two together, and if you can punch through both layers, you can go ahead and do that. I know I can't punch through 2 layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the word window punch, slide it all the way in as far as it'll go, and then just kind of center it, and kind of draw an imaginary line there and center it, and then turn it, and do the same thing. Lining it up with this punch now. Okay, so there's going to be your slider part for your pennies. Alright, so now we're going to take our designer paper, put this on the front. Okay, and then we're just going to flip it over, and we're going to line up the punch with the previous punch. Like I said, you could layer those together and just punch them both at the same time. Okay, so you're going to need 4 pennies, and I have the dimensionals here, so I'm just going to put 1 dimensional on each of the pennies. I'm just going to peel the backing off, and you're just going to slide that penny. I find that the flat part of the dimensional slides a little bit easier, and then just layer that other penny on top of that. So then that's going to slide. And do the other one the exact same way. Okay, so now our penny slider is ready to decorate. Alright, so here's our layer here that we already did with the Scallop Tag Topper punch. And I went ahead already to save time because I needed one more of the swap. So I went ahead and cut everything out. Let me show you what I used here. Okay, so for the Celebrate, this is the Fabulous 4 stamp set that I used right here. And I punched that out with the big shot with the oval framelits. And I believe I used the number 3 and number 4 size for the Hello Honey and then the Whisper White. And then your Fabulous is from High Five right here. And then I punched that out with the big shot also with the Project Life Cards and Labels framelits with this little framelit right here. And then I went ahead and punched out the Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer paper with the star framelits with the big shot. And then I put dimensionals on the back side of those too. And then I also used a piece of the Hello Honey stitched satin ribbon, which is really pretty. And then to finish it off, we're going to use a piece of the Whisper White Baker's Twine. Alright, so then for your little layer here, we're just going to pop this up on the front. Just like that. Okay, so there's one more thing that I did for the ribbon here. This slot here is a little bit wider than the ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little glue dot here to the center of the scallop just to hold that ribbon in place. Plus it will serve as the pull on the card. And then I'm going to take a piece of the baker's twine here. I'm just going to tie a knot and then a bow to keep that ribbon in place. Off. Okay, so then for the You're Fabulous, I'm going to trim a little bit because I want this to fit inside between the two pennies, and it's a little bit too long because I don't want it to interfere with the sliding. I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, I'm just going to put adhesive on this. It should slide right between those two pennies like that. Okay? And then we're going to put another dimensional on top of the pennies. And then put this right on top of that. Okay, then when you pull it, you'll see the grading right there. Isn't that cute? So that's how you make that double slider. Okay, here are the other ones. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Bye.